Okay, you can say it. Say it.
Say what?
Say it.
I don't know
This
what.
it is a word that I have not blacklisted from your vocabulary. I didn't intentionally blacklist it from your vocabulary.
Huh.
But this being episode 7 of 8 of Rings of Power makes this what? Makes this what?
Penultimate of season 1.
There you go.
That's so funny. I almost thought about saying it and then I didn't. And
Yeah,
then
you're
when
like,
you alluded to the one word that was blacklisted, I'm like,
still
what's he
just
talking about?
self-conscious about it. No, I say we blow open the doors on, honestly, knowing what penultimate means. I'm amazed and a little befuddled at the frequency with which you used to be able to say it. Like, why were we constantly in a state of penultimateness?
I don't know what context I brought it up in. Like, if we were doing series, like trilogies or something, and like I honestly don't remember.
Often, like,
Yeah,
you know, like you know, we
It made
did
sense.
007, but that like took forever for you to reach that. And Harry Potter took like over a year for us to get through. So I don't know, but
I don't
like
remember
it seemed
why
like
I
every
did.
other episode for a while you were like able
And
to say that word.
and it made sense in the context. I just don't remember what
it
the
did.
context was. Well,
Mysteries.
context-
Hello and welcome.
the context today is we are reviewing episode 7 of the Rings of Power television program.
Yes.
I guess I just realized this now. It is called, quote unquote, The Eye, but it is episode 7, and we're here to review it to get, in part, pumped up for the finale.
And yes, I still have COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I don't sound, you know, as wonderful as usual, or if I sound better. If I sound better than usual, you're out of luck, because this is not worth it. Trust me, this is as temporary is able to be. But yeah, still sick. But hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome to the Movie Man podcast. Yes. Well, shall we get into it?
Sure, yeah, if you're not going to introduce us, then that's fine.
No, we must remain anonymous.
I agree. Okay. It's for the better
You're
good.
right. Sorry. I am Peter. That is Brady.
Good job.
So
yeah, let's do this. An episode that I'm sure you will hate because the Harfoots are back, and you know, we're furthering plots that you are still refusing to acknowledge are a part of the show.
I will say this episode, every episode I try and sway if I like it or not, or if I think it's better than the Hobbit trilogy or not, or if it was worth my time or not. And I will say I went back and forth, but I will say I probably lean towards good. I'll give away that. But I'll say the Hobbit storyline wasn't actually that bad. It was okay. For
The
me,
Hobbit storyline. Oh, in this episode, you mean?
in this episode.
Oh,
in this
okay.
episode. And in this episode, for me, just the Moria storyline was the snore. And the Southlands was the great storyline, but I could have done with more of it.
You thought the Moria storyline was the snore?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Because that's been, I mean, I genuinely believe that the relationship between Elrond and Durin is like the soul of this show.
I would say it's been a slow burn, that storyline.
Yeah, well, I mean, 5 seasons, you know? What do you want to just, like, get it all out there all in one go? And because like, here's the thing, right? It's like they're building tensions, and they're building context, and they're building all these things, right? Like, I think it would be so easy to accidentally go the other way and just feel like, oh, we're getting all of this payoff for something that was not earned, that wasn't like, yeah, like.
And it's such a double-edged sword, because 5 seasons of a well-made show is a treat for any viewer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ripping on that. It's just when I come across a TV show that all 5 seasons are available to watch, that's a treat. But in the trenches where it's like, ooh, not only are we going to have to live week by week, but like this is going to be years before like storylines might be finished or, answers are given for cliffhangers. That's just where the lingering part, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm emotionally strong enough. And I say that jokingly, but that's just where I groan when you say 5 seasons. It's like good, but challenges that come along with it.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
So yeah, this episode picks up. We've got the surviving villagers, and they flee the burning. They flee the burning town.
Like this opens, and instantly we're like, okay, so show of hands, who has a respiratory chronic illness now? Because, do you think at this point Galadriel is second guessing her baptism by fire moment from the end of the last episode?
I mean, yeah, I don't even know how to respond to that. Like that whole sequence where we see Galadriel wake up, I think visually was so breathtaking, like the orange colored tones and the visuals, and
she's almost unrecognizable. She's
unrecognizable,
so coated in ash.
And it's bright, but it's also dark, and just visually that scene blew me away. But just what that scene means as far as like this once green normal place is now a fire pit is not good.
Well, and so yeah, visually a stunning scene to look at, but also emotionally a stunning scene, because it's like there's so much going on in the moments where she doesn't even have any dialogue. She's just kind of like looking around at the devastation. And so much is being said, like the loss that this is, that the L that they're taking on this is immense, and it's just it is devastation that she didn't anticipate. Right, they were blindsided by this. They pulled the old switcheroo on the blade.
Yeah.
And even with the blade.
And blindsided, and just not even blindsided, but it's just they had a euphoric sense of accomplishment for just a small moment where it's like, we vanquished this enemy. We're all kind of, helping each other up. What are our next steps? And then a defeat. Like it wasn't like a defeat in battle. Like it was a momentary success followed by excruciating defeat.
Well, and it's not even, I mean, there's a couple extra layers here where it's like they didn't even know that this is what defeat meant. Like it was, we don't want them to have the sword. It would be really, really bad if they have the sword. But they didn't know that meant that a volcano was going to go off.
Right.
And wipe out this land. And an argument could be made that, like, certainly the Harfoots are a little out of the know with things, but an argument could be made. Like, you and I know that this mountain, this like lonely mountain in the middle of the Southlands, is a volcano.
Yeah.
Does everybody else?
That's true.
Does Galadriel, is it known that, oh, this thing that will eventually be known as Mount Doom is full of volcanic lava, blah blah blah, that could erupt at any time, so on and so forth? Or was it simply just, to most people's knowledge, just a mountain?
Yeah.
But whether it be Sauron or Adar or whoever who figured out, no, there's, in our whole orc tunneling business, we've discovered something quite feisty.
Quite juicy.
Yeah. Like, so that I think is even more it could just add this extra layer of like, yes, we've experienced defeat.
Mm-hmm.
We did not know that this is what defeat would mean. Furthermore, we don't even fully understand, like, we're shell-shocked because we didn't even know that this was on the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So to me, it was like just this huge extra level of like, of trauma for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of trauma, Muriel has lost her eyesight and Isildur has gone missing. And I'll say this next part and then I'll double back because there's two things I want to hit on. Followed by this, Muriel does promise Galadriel more Númenórean support. Two things to that. I've been really... I flipped the switch on this episode. I've really come around to this concept of enjoying Isildur's backstory, or what we've seen of it so far, and just getting to know him as a character. And I think what I like about it is just, I've always, from being a fan of the films, have not villainized, but kind of thrown and cast blame to Isildur, just when he had the chance to end everything and throw the ring in the fire. And even at times I'm like, Elrond, this is on you. You could have thrown him in yourself and that would have solved it. And I remember our conversation with Aaron Mader where the three of us were hashing this out. And just part of it was, Elrond and Isildur at that time would have had a relationship. So, friends. it's not as cut and dry of knowing, like, Isildur was a friend to Elrond, and there, just getting more depth on Elrond, I guess, or Isildur rather, is just something I'm really craving now, just to realize who he is, and he had motivations, and he had fears, and he had relationships, and just kind of getting that branched out. I'm actually here for it, and I'm actually kind of really enjoying that aspect.
Well, and that's the thing about the ring, right? Like, the ring makes it really easy for us to villainize people who are influenced by the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But like, one of the most tragic stories, one of the most tragic characters of Middle-earth is Gollum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
None of what happened to Gollum was his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was a simple hobbit.
Yeah.
A river folk.
Yeah.
And yeah, he happened upon the ring. And it's not his fault that the ring had this impact on him and corrupted him and destroyed him, and
bad luck, wrong place and wrong time. It wasn't it wasn't him aspiring to do something and he got burned by it.
Yeah. Like, it's easy to watch Lord of the Rings or read Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit and look at Gollum as an adversary.
Yeah.
Right? And as far as completing our goals, he's certainly an adversary to our goals. Mm-hmm. But he's not an antagonist in the sense that he's evil and wanting to do evil things.
Mm-hmm.
Gollum is if you sit and you were to list every character in the Lord of the Rings, I would challenge you to find a greater victim than Gollum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Like, the poor guy. Right?
Yeah.
And Frodo sees it.
He does.
Frodo feels bad for him. And he's like, I have to take pity on him. I have to believe in the good in him. I have to believe that he can come back and that someone can, be affected by this ring and still make it out the other side a decent person.
Yeah.
Because if there's no hope for him, then there might not be hope for me.
Yeah, he sees a bit of his future, maybe.
There's like 1,000 years almost difference between the two. Like, Gollum's been much more impacted by this. He's been a junkie quite a bit longer than Frodo has.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So, and that's the thing, right? Isildur he's a Númenorian. He is one of the worthy. He was worth saving.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Númenor was sunk. Right? Ilúvatar sends he spares him and several others, like his father. But yeah, so Isildur was a noble and worthy and mighty king. Absolutely, he was. He just got corrupted.
Yeah.
By something that you know, and specifically at that point, something that there wasn't really much lore about. Like he was, Isildur is the first person other than Sauron to possess the ring.
Yeah. So at that point, there wasn't a lot of intel on what to do or not to do with this, as far as what could happen if you play around with this thing.
No, and really only 4 people ever did possess it.
Right.
Isildur loses it. It goes straight to Gollum, who has it the longest, is the most impacted by it. Bilbo has it for like 70 years.
Yeah.
And then Frodo has it for like 20 years, close to.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, it's that's the thing is like... I get where you're coming from, and I've certainly felt that in the past. That like that Isildur, like, you son of a bitch. Like, why couldn't you just? You could have ended this whole thing.
Yeah. But it's not that simple.
It's not that simple. Even Frodo, who was like so steadfast in his mission and just wanted to get this stupid thing over with, right? Wanted nothing more than to finish this quest and get back home. He turns and looks at Sam and says, "The ring is mine."
Yeah.
So, anyways, I digress.
No, that's fine. Hidden in that is the other thing. So Galadriel escorts a wounded Halbrand to the for some elvish medicine for some healing, and related to Muriel being blind and Halbrand being injured, we get some really intense, graphic, wound scenes and injury scenes and amputee scenes, like some serious stuff. And we alluded to this in the previous episode, but this show does not shy away from the gory aspect of war.
Yeah, when I saw this, like the trauma tent, I couldn't help but thinking, like, ethically, I don't know what you do, but isn't this just kind of a waste of resources? Like... I don't know. I'm looking around this tent and I'm like, given the age and the technology and the fact that they're not all receiving elvish medicine, like, right? It's well, we're just going to take this guy to go get elvish medicine. I'm looking around and I'm like, 80% of you are dead. 80% of you are not going to... You're missing both legs and part of an arm. The fact that you haven't died of blood loss is incredible.
That orc
incredible
bled like 8 liters out of his eyes, so who knows?
But infection is going to take you by morning. Like, there is no... no, dude.
It's hard to... But the elvish magic is the wild card here, right? It's just like...
Yeah, but they're not receiving elvish medicine or magic, right? And so it's like, and then part of me is also like... We're in war times. You're here as a soldier. You're here as a warrior. You now have no legs.
People still deserve care. People still... Speaking of people who don't deserve time... elsewhere, Nori's caravan finds that their destination grove has been destroyed by the eruption of the volcano.
Quite a ways out. This thing has had some spread.
Yeah. The stranger attempts to mend the tree, but appears to fail and leaves. And obviously later we see that he did not fail. And in a big way, he did not fail.
This scene, I think, is adding a lot of gravity to the theory that this might be Radagast.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah, interesting.
Just his connection with trees and nature and things of that sort. It could still be Gandalf, could still be someone entirely different.
Yeah.
But it definitely adds a couple of beans into the Radagast pot. Yeah. I did want to circle back real quick to Muriel losing her eyesight. This is really, it's interesting because it makes her father's prophecy of all that awaits you in Middle-earth is darkness.
Ooh.
It makes it twofold. One is the darkening of the Southlands and the destruction and the creation of Mordor.
I never thought of that.
But then also the fact that, now literally all she has is darkness.
Ooh, I kind of forgot about that, to be honest with you.
It adds, like, it makes it such a rich, double-layered prophecy. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, that is actually something I never really noticed, to be honest. So yeah, like we said, the entire grove ends up regrowing, and the Harfoots rejoice. But although things are rejoicing and happy, and something magical did happen, and everyone's eating fruit, we do have an encounter with a mysterious trio who are in search of the stranger.
Yes, the cultists, as I call them.
The old cultists.
Yep.
Which I had a bit of a problem with her her gaining their attention, like, even, like, why are you initiating contact? That just felt like a weird scene to me. Like, you don't know if someone's intentions are good or bad. Like, they're very mysterious. Like, who?
Yeah.
Are you? I don't
know. Also, like, you are a group of hobbits who fear normal-looking big people.
Yes, those two hunters were just walking, like, talking about
just minding their own damn business.
And
probably
had
nothing about them. Were like, oh, we're out to hunt and kill and harm innocent hobbits.
Yeah.
Whereas all of a sudden, like, the fan club for Motley Crue shows up, and and the hobbits are just like, oh, more big people. What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, it seemed like a poor choice, to say the least.
New Sauron theory.
Oh, I'm here for it. You think it's Theo again? I knew you'd come around.
I think this isn't a strong theory, and I don't think it's as strong a theory as Halbrand, but I think you can't ignore the notion that the leader of the cultists could be Sauron.
Okay. I mean, yes, it's an option. And I put that into my toolkit of options.
This whole setting fire to everything instantly bullshit that, like,
I don't know if I like that as much, just because
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't go that way.
No.
But they could. Possible. That could be what they're trying to set up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. After a failed attempt by Nori to mislead them, they classified as misleading them, but I don't know. The fact that she initiated contact is a fault in itself. The trio burns down the Harfoot's caravans, and realizing the danger, they set off to warn the stranger. So yeah, stuff we kind of alluded to.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, to your favorite storyline, in Khazad-dûm, Elrond offers a deal for the dwarfish Mithril, but King Durin III declines, saying that the Elven Age has ended.
Yeah, and I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is like stubbornness between... Like, at this point, there isn't really the steadfast feud between elves and dwarves that there will come to be later on. They may not be the best of buddies, But there are some specific events in Middle Earth history that have sort of fueled that. The more common of ones being known is what happens with Erebor and Legolas's people refusing to come help.
Right. Yeah.
But a more ancient one, and one that we may see come to pass in this series, is when Celebrimbor and several others sort of establish a realm, a kingdom, or whatever, just sort of outside the doorway, that the Moria doorway, the speak friend and enter doorway. Celebrimbor is going to end. He's the one that ends up making that door for them. Like there's quite cool. a friendship that ends up, kind of, coming to be there. And they sort of, the elves kind of like have a little settlement, village, city thing just to the west of those doors. Literally just to the west of the Misty Mountains there.
Oh, cool.
But then, without spoiling it or going too deep into it, there's some sour grapes eventually, and that goes down as sort of a big falling out between elves and dwarves. So, but none of that has really happened yet, and so I don't know if this is just greed or if it's because he doesn't have dragon sickness.
No.
And so he's not. I mean, they are obsessed with minerals and ores and stuff like that, but not as much as they will come to be once they possess rings of power. So I don't know. I don't fully know what his
angle is,
and why he's so closed to the idea.
And I think that's why, because I get it. This storyline is good. Their core friendship between Elrond and Durin, is it this, whatever his name is?
The fourth.
That is powerful. That is great. I think just what drives me a little bit to the not liking it side is just, I get it. Pops. You have an issue with the elves. Elves, you've got an issue with pops. I think that's just ingrained in me enough, so I'm like, let's move past that and get into the good stuff of whatever Elrond and Durin the Fourth are gonna uncover or not uncover, or do or not do with the Mithril. I think that's my main thing, and so I guess that's kind of related to your questioning of like, what's Durin the Third's angle? Like, why is he so bent out of shape?
Right.
So it's a good question. I don't know what his angle is.
He's just old and crotchety.
Yeah. He listen, who isn't these days?
Mm-hmm.
As Elrond departs, Prince Durin witnesses Mithril's ability to cure the elven blight in a leaf.
Which I don't know, this scene seemed weird to me, because it's like all he saw was exactly what Elrond said was that shouldn't have been a shock. That was why he said he needed the Mithril.
Right.
But he's like, look, this is the evidence that our people are suffering, and the Mithril is going to help. And Durin the Fourth is already on board and wanting to help. And so when the leaf thing happens, it was almost like it changed something in him or swayed his mind, but it was like, why? All that's happened is a confirmation that, yes, this is what needs to happen, but you already were in that camp.
But I think the way I viewed it is the confirmation was what was key. Like, it's not just being lied to or being told a story. Like, he believes his friend, but then this was any doubt that you might be having on the validity of this or what people's angles are, you're reminded of why this is true or this is key. Like, that's why I felt it made sense.
I guess so, and it's just like, it just seemed, something about the pacing of it seemed weird for me, right? Like, he's already had this, he's already crying. He's already had this, like, traumatic goodbye to his friend. Because, he's basically said, my father's not going to let me save you and your people, so I guess this is the last time I will see you. Because I am, as your friend, I am sending you off to your death.
To your death.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah.
Yeah, tough stuff for sure. As Elrond departs, Prince Durin... Oh, I already said that. He brings Elrond back and begins to mine for the ore himself. Just as he strikes a large mithril pocket, King Durin arrives. He banishes Elrond at this point, strips Durin of his royalty, seals the mithril mine, and like does it quite dramatically, like rips off Durin the Fourth's like breastplate or whatever, and like throws it across the room. It's official,
Yeah, which made Durin the Fourth seem a little stupid in this scene, just because he it's kind of like he didn't pick up on what his father was saying to him. Because he goes to pick it up and put it back on. Like, like my dad, like it was the equivalency of just, someone knocking your hat off your head or something to be a dick. When he goes to put it back on and the father's like, no, leave it. It doesn't belong to you anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, your dad is a dick and he's cutting you off from the family. It's both. So while this is happening, or I guess after Elrond leaves, after this disowning has occurred, Pops throws the healed leaf, I guess it was at the time, into the mithril mine, seals it, and unknowingly, or not realizing it, a Balrog has been awoken.
Not just a Balrog.
Yeah.
The Balrog. Now,
the Balrog.
This is a really cool scene. And it gets you all like inside. However, I hope that this is just a cameo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
And that they don't do anything with it again.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. And again, we're walking all over lore and we're changing things and so on and so forth. And I've been pretty much a defender of whatever changes they're making. This Balrog comes to be known as Durin's Bane because of his destruction and because of his destruction of Khazad-dûm and his killing of Durin the Sixth.
Oh, wow.
So right now we're dealing with Durin the Third and the Fourth.
Yep.
So if we do see the destruction of Khazad-dûm at the hand of this Balrog, it will be moving that up hundreds of years in the timeline. And it just doesn't feel necessary.
Yeah.
Outside of plus it would remove our ability to see more Khazad-dûm stuff. And for me, that's been like a highlight of the show. So I just don't want that storyline to end.
You're not ready for it to have the fate of Southlands quite yet.
Right. Yeah.
This isn't a hot take, but this is just a revelation I had. I loved this concept of, and I will pretty much agree with everything you just said. I hope it's just a cameo. But I would say I really enjoyed this concept that we got a bit more insight to maybe what woke the Balrog. I think I've always assumed, whether it's right or wrong, that it was the greed of the dwarves and it was greed that fueled it, that greed that awoke this desert or this deathly fire. But I like the concept that no, it might not have been greed. It may have actually been love or care for companionship or caring for one another. And it was that of Durin the Fourth's wanting to help a friend and a friend's race, and grief that kind of fueled this digging, not just blind greed.
Right. Well, in Peter Jackson's films, I think the only thing that they say is that that they dug too deep, that their love for riches or whatever caused them to dig deeper than they should, and they awoken something. Right. And I mean, it's kind of I think both can be true here, because yes, this is a scenario of digging too deep, right? That is definitely what's happened.
Yep.
Mithril was something that they were pursuing prior to the elves' need for it, right?
True.
It was initially something that they were digging towards because think of the fame and the riches that this will bring us, and even those parts removed, and it being about this act of love and friendship and whatever, that's something that we know, and the three of them there know, and stuff like that. Whereas if this story is being retold 2,000 years later by someone who wasn't there, it kind of makes sense that that's the natural progression that the tale would take. That, that they did. They dug too deep and they awoken something in the darkness, and dwarves are treasure hungry, and so that's why they were digging. Of course, that's why they were digging. So I think it all works. I think it can
Fair.
be this act of love and have that plot in it. And it doesn't necessarily undo anything lore wise, because it makes sense that 2,000 years later, as this story is being told, it wasn't like, but what very few people know is that it was because Elrond approached, so like this isn't something they're publicizing, right? Gal-Galad is not telling all of the elves, hey, we're screwed and we need Mithril to avoid panic. And Durin the Third is certainly not telling all the dwarves, hey, they're after our Mithril. This is what, everyone's being pretty tight-lipped about this operation. So, I think it makes sense so far.
And I like that. I like that it doesn't undo anything, but it does give that. It's easier to get behind something like that, a motivation like that, right?
It just adds a layer.
It does add a layer in a good way, yeah. Something that was kind of that's the end of my summary, other than, I guess, the final sequence where it says the destroyed Southland is now renamed Mordor, which I have a bone to pick with.
They did this in the worst possible ugly.
Agreed. They lined up the shot perfectly for when they asked, they set up, what should we call this place? Or, something to that effect. And instead of being like, Mordor, he just doesn't respond. And then we get the word on the screen that says Southland, and then it erodes, and then it says Mordor. This had
photo slideshow editing for your grade 8 graduation written all over it.
I don't even have a problem with that. You're right, but it
had iMovie, Apple Film, whatever the free. My big bone to pick with this sequence is just the way that they used a title on the screen in a way that they've never used up until this point. Right? Is not synonymous with Middle Earth or Lord of the Rings. And we're dealing with a property, like an independent property, Lord of the Rings, that above any other franchise does not have to explain themselves if they want to show really cool map shots. In fact, we applaud really cool map shots.
Sure.
Why would you not have done this as a map shot? as a Middle Earth map shot, and the title changes on the map instead of just having it like, oh, this like Lord of the Rings-esque font in the top left corner of the screen that changes to now say Mordor. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we
just
both
been much cooler as a map shot.
I think we disagree on how we thought it would have been better, but we can agree that it wasn't the best. I think you visually had a better idea in mind, and I think I just wanted verbal affirmation because they set up for it. Like, they asked the guy, I think it was Zadar, they're like, what should we call it? Like, they literally asked him, and instead of responding, they cued to the screenshot. So I agree. We agree that we didn't think that it was fully impactful to how it could have been.
Yeah. So I guess the big question is, like, the final episode releases tonight at midnight.
Yes.
What do you have any predictions, or do you have like a wish list? Things that you need to see at the end of this season, things that you want to see at the end of the season, or things that you think you'll see whether you want them or not?
The answer is no, because I think we're not going to get a ton. That's just the nature of how something will be if it's the finish of the first season of 5, right? Like, we're not going to get anything completely wrapped up. We might not even get any big answers of who anyone is big picture, right? Like, I think that's just the nature of it. So I have low expectations. And that's just because of where we are in the show. Like, it's too early to have anything too revelation, altering, table turning, anything crazy. And that's just, I think that's just where we are.
Yeah.
What do you do you have specifics, or do you have expectations?
I don't have predictions. I don't think. My wish list, I don't need any definitive answers.
Okay.
There are 3 things that I think I want / need a big hint or nudge towards.
Interesting.
Number 1 being, I want to come out of this episode with not necessarily confirmation of who Sauron is, or which of our characters that we are dealing with, assuming that one of the characters that we've been seeing on screen is in fact Sauron.
Assuming, yeah.
I don't need concrete confirmation on any of them, but like some sort of mic drop, huge nudge towards, oh, that was very Sauron-esque, or like, it's something to that effect, right?
And I don't think we will. I think you're right. Like, I don't think we will get a definitive answer, and I think it'd be a safe bet to say we should get a good nudge, or at least a big clue, or at least something pointing us.
Right. Yeah. Give us something, give us a moment where Halbrand has an evil look, which could still leave it wide open. Maybe he's the Witch King. Maybe he's, maybe they're going to walk all over lore and somehow he's going to become the mouth of Sauron, right? Like, who knows, right? But give us something that goes, okay, this guy's not who we think he is, or not who he's presenting to be. Likewise, I need something similar for Meteor Man. I don't need to know who he is, but give me something that, like, tease me. Even if he turns out not to be Gandalf, drop something that, like, fuels the fire that maybe he is.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Entice my hunger. Finally, I don't think there's enough time, like, unless this episode drops tonight and it's like 2 hours long, which I hope to God it is, but there's not enough time for us to really have any serious talk about the Rings of Power, for Sauron to approach Celebrimbor or any of these things, right? So, like, we're not going to get the ring. We're not going to get any rings commissioned or anything like that. But there's got to be something. Like you can't wrap up the first season of a show called The Rings of Power
and have no rings
and have no mention or talk about or anything nudging towards the idea that there could be rings of power being made at some point down the line, right? So those are just three things. Ultimately, if I don't get any of those three, it's not going to make the final episode an automatic fail. It's going to be, I'm so excited. I'm excited, and I'm also like, I'm sad. I'm sad that this like weekly watching is coming to an end for quite a while.
Yeah,
for a long time, which Carl and I will be talking about this week on the on our movie news show.
Yes.
Tune in for that. Yeah. But yeah, so those are kind of my three on my wish list.
And those,
but none of them are requirements.
Yeah. And those are all fair, and I could see advancements coming in some of them, or all of them, or none of them, depending on what they decide to do. I even adding a fourth one, like I just want to see. I think there's something going on with Theo. Like maybe he becomes the Witch King. Like maybe drop a, maybe his nickname becomes the King of the Witches from all this chums and classmates. Maybe they just drop something.
He could become the Witch King. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Or just one of the lesser Nazgul, or
the second in command.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. So win or fail for you, sir, this episode.
Before I go to that, there's just one thing that I skipped over that didn't come up in the summary. I really thought it was a powerful and underestimated moment when Numenor was basically announced to be at war by Miriel, and we get Elendil, who's overcome with emotions by tears. Like he comes to tears just at the essentially decision and announcement of Numenor going to war and getting more involved in this war. And I thought that was interesting because, again, in this Lord of the Rings cinematic universe, we've seen lots of serious decisions. Theoden not being quick to pull the trigger to help Gondor because enough blood has been spilled. Like we see things like that, but just having an emotional moment like that, of the emotional tolls of someone realizing we've already spilt a lot of blood today. Families have been ruined. People have been killed. And this is just the beginning. It's only going to get worse. And they don't even understand the context of how it's going to get worse. They don't even realize over the thousands of years how worse it's going to get. But just having that micro, like individual moment, I thought was a very powerful touch and just gave, again, a human spin to it, and a very accurate human spin of, again, the realities of war, of just how horrible that decision is that this leader has made, not as a tactical decision, but just as any necessary conflict is necessary. There's always repercussions and costs that are awful, and I just loved that instantaneous Elendil just caving, and just obviously he's emotionally raw just because his son is still missing, but I just love that aspect of it as a leader who isn't just like rah, let's pound the drums and let's go off to battle. Like he is taken back, and I thought that was just really unique to me. I really liked that.
There's costs. There's huge costs.
Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely.
I like I hinted to at the beginning, it's a win. I was on the fence. It wasn't a bad episode, but I wasn't immediately saying this was a win. So I'll just say it's a win, but it was just kind of close, and it could have gone either way. But it was a win. What say you?
I think it's, there's no arguing that it's a less exciting episode than the last one.
Agreed.
But I don't, I spent a bunch of time thinking, because I wanted to be clear with myself whether less exciting meant less good. And I don't think it does mean that, just because there's so much furthering that happens as far as it's a very relational episode, right?
Yep.
As instead of like advancing our action, we are deepening our relationships. We're setting up changes in power dynamics. Like obviously, Muriel's keeping her whole peekaboo situation under wraps right now.
Peekaboo.
Yeah, I can't see you. And so that was probably so insensitive.
And how is there not any elven magic to help her?
I mean, maybe there is.
Yeah.
But it's tricky because I wonder at this point who's capable of performing, right? Like it's not just as simple, I wouldn't think, as just like, oh well, we need to find an elf. Oh, just find an elf. Oh, you got an elf? Okay, bring that elf over here. Right? Like in The Lord of the Rings, when Frodo gets stabbed with the Morgul blade, Arwen's there. And she's able to do she's able to like pack some parsley into his wound and and be like, this will
keep you alive.
The process.
Yeah.
But I need to get you to my father. Right. Lord Elrond needs to do that. Now, obviously at this point, Lord Elrond is not, all that in a bag of bananas, but,
yeah.
So I just don't know. Right. And like healing a wound and curing an infection in Halbrand's body is probably a less aggressive task than restoring eyesight.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's possible. It's possible that this can be done, but maybe not by any elf outside of like Linden at this point. We're in the Southlands. Like we're on the opposite, we're at like the furthest opposite corner of Middle Earth at this moment. And maybe not even in Middle Earth, right? Like maybe if we could airlift you to Valinor, we'd get you fixed up in a jiffy. But you're a Númenorian, and although you are faithful to the old ways of Númenor, you guys kind of burn bridges with the Valinors. Like, the Valors aren't super. You guys aren't copacetic these days. So I don't know. Possibly, but it's not as simple as like, throwing them in an orange helicopter and sending their ass over.
Yes or no? They refer going to an old Númenor camp that the survivors are going to be heading to. Is that of any significance, or is that just TBD? We'll see what that is.
Old Númenor camp. I don't know. I don't know.
And maybe we'll find out in episode 8 or season 2, or maybe it's nothing.
Yeah, like it quite possibly. And there's a lot of interesting things that now that we have this moment. We've had the moment that we've had with the Southlands being turned into Mordor. There are a lot of cool things that they can start giving us. Stuff that people like you and I are going to go, like, ooh, that's a really fun setup. Like, that's a fun wink and a nod to stuff gone past. Like, so one example, and it all depends on like how far into, like, if we're going to see the sinking of Númenor. It depends on how much time they're going to jump in this show.
Sure.
If we're going to see the sinking of Númenor, if we're going to see the founding of Gondor, if we're going to see all of these, all of these things, like the tower, the out, and I'm going to butcher the name. I'm not even going to try, but the tower that Frodo gets taken to after he's been taken from Shelob's lair, right? That Sam goes and rescues him in. Do you know the one I mean?
No, not by name, but yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I like absolutely. And
that's
seeing things like that would be.
That's an old Gondor Numenorian. Like they built that as an outlook, or like a lookout tower, to kind of keep an eye on Mordor, and then eventually the orcs kind of take it over and blah blah blah. But we could see stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And same even like. Yeah, like all those different old kingdom segments. Yeah, like where Frodo and Sam are walking by, and the armies of Mordor are released when they start climbing the stairs. Like all those different relic-y, oldie kingdom segments that we've seen would be possible, or depending on where they go time wise.
Like, tell me you're not going to need to change your underwear if in season 2, all of a sudden you realize that tower that I'm looking at right now,
right?
That's Weathertop. That's going to become ruins and destroy, and that will be Weathertop. But now, it's a big, beautiful, magnificent tower.
And see, I thought that we might get hints of that, like when we saw the elves standing at that outpost, and then. It turned out that's definitely not any of the towers.
No, it's too soon. I don't think it's been built yet.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I know that now, but just when...
That's the thing. That's how far back we are.
Right. Yeah.
Right? We are in the Second Age.
Yeah.
And the events of Hobbit and Lord of the Rings are 3,000 years into the Third Age. So we're like 4,500 years before... like from the time that Sauron creates his One Ring to the War of the Last Alliance, don't take this to the bank, but I think it's like 1,000 years of so there's a long period of time in between all these events. So there's a lot of landmarks that just aren't there yet.
Yeah. The scales of time that we're talking about are just gigantic.
They're huge.
And
they're huge.
Where we're at and where you're at any specific point in time is just, on a meter stick, we're one thin slice of piece of paper, and that doesn't mean we're,
Yeah. So all those digressions to say this episode was a win for me.
Yeah.
Good. Wrap it up, sir.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us. Please follow, subscribe wherever you can. Give us a good rate and review, and give us a like and a comment. We love hearing back from you. Check out our Patreon page. Help us support the show. Keep the lights on and help us give you some perks. And stay tuned for upcoming things. Rings of Power episodes in whenever they come out ever again. The finale I guess we'll have, but then there'll be more eventually. And
I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up on this podcast until
the next James Bond and the next Rings of Power come out.
No, until the series finale of 2029 or whatever that is.
Yeah. I would... Yeah, honestly, it could be worse than that, to be honest. Like, I'm thinking how spread out Stranger Things is, and it's not even done yet. Like, this... I just hope it's not that long of a spread, is my point. But
such a negative Nelly.
I don't know, man. But yes, thank you for listening, everyone. And stay tuned. We've got other spooky seasonal things coming up your way. And we've always got some things up our sleeves. So just stay tuned. You never know what's going to happen.
I couldn't have said any of that better myself. And trust me, I've tried.
You have.
I've been trying with the Carl episodes, and I miss you. I miss you ending episodes.
I miss you too, man. Miss you too.